Hello everyone. Today we are going to see the fifth unit in geography, which is India, population, transport, communication, and trade. So, population, transport, communication, and trade in India. Okay. So let me give you a glimpse of this lesson. So, in this lesson, we are going to learn about we're going to study the levels of urbanization and its impacts in India. You know what is rural and what is urban. So, we are going to study the levels of urbanization and its impacts in India. Next is to know about the human development in India. Then, to learn the transport systems of India and to understand the communication system of India. Finally, to assess the nature of trade in India. We're going to see 5 concepts. First is levels of urbanization and its impact, and next is human development, then transport system, then communication system, and the nature of trade in India. These are the 5 topics that we're going to see under this lesson. Let me give you a quick introduction. The study on human population is one of the most important aspects in geography of any region. The human population has many components, but the most fundamental are its number, composition, distribution, and density. Therefore, it is essential to study these components. The study on these aspects also would reveal the workforce of the country. Okay. Any geography of a particular region would rely on the human population. So it's very important to know the human population, the number, the composition, like in which location, which kind of people, how many people are there, and distribution, how they are distributed, like based on communities and based on location, how it is distributed, and the density of people, the collectiveness, the density of people. So all this should be studied. These components should be studied, and if we study these components, we'll also understand the workforce of our country. Okay. So the population of India as per 2011 census is 1210.19 million. So as per 2011 census, the population of India is 1210.19 million. So it shows an increase of 19.31 crores from the population of 2001. So in 2001 compared to 2001, 19.31 crores of population have increased. Population Census of India provides the detailed information about the demography of India. Along with population, we'll study about the transport and communication of India in this chapter. So along with with population, we're also going to see about transport and communication and also trade. So population. The total number of people residing in a country at a specified period of time is called the population of that country. So in a particular period of time, how many people, the total number of people residing in a country is called population of that country. India is the second most populous country in the world, next only to China. So after China, India is the second most populous country in the world. India covers only 2.4% of the land area of the world, but is the home of about 17.5% of the world's population. So when it comes to area, we only cover 2.4% of the land area, but when it comes to people, when it comes to population, we have world's 17.5% of the world's population. It shows that the proportion of population of India is far higher than the proportion of its area. So land is lesser, population is more. Thus, a little more than 1 out of every 6 persons in the world is from India. 1 of every 6 persons in the world is from India. our population is almost equal to the combined population of the USA, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Japan, and total population of these 6 countries is 1214.3 million. See, uh, so all these 6 countries' population is equal to India's population. So we hold the other 6 countries' population, but their land, their land area is wider than ours comparatively, but still our population is huge. Census. Population census is the total process of collecting, compiling, analyzing, or otherwise disseminating demographic, economic, and social data pertaining at a specific time of all persons in a country or a well defined part of a country. Okay, so the population census means collecting, compiling, and analyzing uh, the data of all population of all the persons of the country is called census. It happens in an interval of 10 years. The data collected through the census are used for administration, planning, policy making, as well as management and evaluation of various programs by the government. So, based on the data, this data will be collected every 10 years. Based on the data they collect, they'll be planning the administration, then planning, policy making, management, and evaluation programs by the government. So, government will take measures based upon the census that's taken every 10 years once. Distribution and density of population. The term population distribution refers to the way the people are spaced over the earth's surface. The way the people are spaced over the earth's surface. The distribution of population in India is quite uneven because of the vast variation in the availability of resources. So based on the resources available, people are scattered all over the country. Population is mostly concentrated in the regions of industrial centers and the good agricultural lands. Obviously, people need occupation, right? They can get jobs only if there are industries and if there is agriculture. So, population is mostly concentrated in the regions of industrial centers and the good agricultural lands. On the other hand, the areas such as high mountains, arid lands, thickly forested areas, and some remote corners are very thinly populated, and some areas are even uninhabited. Which means, see, obviously, we would not prefer going and settling. Yeah, we can plan a tour to go to mountains and thick forests and all, but we would never prefer settling there because that won't be convenient for us. We cannot get everything easily over there. We'll have to suffer a lot, right? So, those kind of areas are thinly populated, and some areas are even uninhabited, which means there are some areas where people don't even live, don't even prefer to live. Terrain, climate, soil, water bodies, mineral resources, industries, transport, and urbanization are the major factors which affect the distribution of population in our country. So, apart from the industries and agricultural lands, there are also some other factors like water bodies, soil, climate, mineral resources, transport, urbanization, etc. So based on this also people will prefer living there. In India, do you know in India the first census was carried out in the year 1872? This is just an additional information for you guys. So in India, the first census was carried out in the year 1872, but the first complete and synchronous census was conducted in 1881, and the 2011 census represents the 15th census of India. So the last census that was taken was in 2011, and that is the 15th census of India. Uttar Pradesh is the most populous state in the country with a population of 199.5 million, followed by Maharashtra, 112.3 million, Bihar 103.8 million, West Bengal 91.3 million, and the combined Andhra Pradesh 84.6 million. These five states account for about half of the country's population. More than one fourth of the population live only in the two states of Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra. Sikkim is the least populous state of India with numbers 0.61 million. Delhi with 16.7 million population tops among the union territories. The uneven distribution of population in the country is the result of several factors such as physical, socio-economic and historical ones. The physical factors include relief, climate, water, natural vegetation, minerals, and energy resources. Socio-economic factors consist of the religion, culture, political issues, economy, human settlements, transport network, industrialization, urbanization, employment opportunity, etc. So, some of them are natural factors and some of them are socio-economic factors like religion, culture, political issues, industrialization, transport, urbanization, and employment opportunities. HOTS. What could be the reasons for uneven distribution of population in India? Okay, now they're asking us a simple question. What could be the reasons for uneven distribution? So, a country should be evenly distributed, right? Only then the population will be balanced. But in India, why there is uneven distribution of population? They're asking. And we'll find out the reason in the lesson itself. Density of population. Population density is a better measure of understanding the variation in distribution of population. So if you need to understand population, you'll have to understand the population density. So in a square meter, how many people are living? So in this particular area, how many people are living? Why people are preferring this particular area? This is called population density. It is expressed as number of persons per unit area, usually per square kilometer. Population density means it is expressed as a number of persons per unit area, usually per square kilometer. Oh my god, excuse me. Yeah, here we go. According to 2011, the average density of population of India is 382 persons per square kilometer. So according to 2011 census, the average density of population of India is 382 persons per square kilometer. India is one of the most thickly populated 10 countries of the world. The most densely populated state of India is Bihar, and the state with least population density is Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so earlier we spoke about population, don't get confused. Now we are speaking about population density. Among the union territories, Delhi is a densely populated one with 11,297 per square kilometer, while Andaman and Nicobar Islands have the lowest density of population. HOTS. Again, they're asking us a question. What are the reasons for the rapid growth of population in India? So the question is, why is the population in India keeping on increasing? Next, we are going to see spatial pattern of population density. Density, there are two columns, density and places. Now they are giving very low density regions. Very low density means less than 150 persons per square kilometer. They are Arunachal Pradesh, Andaman Nicobar, Mizoram, Sikkim, Nagaland, Manipur, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir and Meghalaya. And low density regions ranging from 150 to 300 persons per square kilometer, and they are Arunachal Pradesh, again the same regions repeat, moderate density ranging from 300 to 500 persons per square kilometer. Gujarat, the combined Andhra Pradesh means now Andhra Pradesh is split into two, right? Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So they're referring as combined Andhra Pradesh. Karnataka, Tripura, Maharashtra, Goa, Assam, and Jharkhand are the states with moderate population density. Assam has tea estates, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Jharkhand. High density ranging from 500 to 1000 persons per square kilometer. Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and Kerala, the Union Territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Very high density, greater than 1000 persons per square kilometer. West Bengal, Bihar, Lakshadweep, Daman and Diu, Puducherry, Chandigarh, and Delhi. See, in Puducherry, per square kilometer, 2598 people are living. So, next is population growth and change. The growth rate of population is an important demographic feature. It not only helps in understanding the population change that a society has undergone in the past, but also help in predicting the future demographic characteristics of an area. So they'll see the population growth in every region to understand the population change in the society and also to predict future characteristics of particular area. Population growth refers to the change in the number of inhabitants of a country during a specific period of time. So during a specific period of a time, how the population changes, that's called population growth. Okay, the growth of population is expressed in percentage. The growth of population growth is expressed in percentage and is described as the growth rate of population, and it's called as growth rate of population. The following table shows the decadal growth rate of population from 1901 to 2011. I'll explain you the graph. Growth of population in India has gone through the different phases. Population of the country in 1901 was 238 million and it grew to 1210 million over a period of little more than a century. So in 1901 it was 238 million, but in 2001 or 2011 it's almost 1210 million. In a century there is such an increase. The following are the different stages of population growth of India. So now they are explaining as a table, a kind of graph, how it increased. Say in 1901 it was 0%. I mean they just started comparing, and in 1911 it increased by 5%, and again in 1921 it dropped. There was no population increase at all. The population, if you see, it is written as minus 0.31%, which means population got reduced by 0.31%. Next, by 1931 it increased to 11%, and 1941 it increased to 14%, 1951 13.31%, 1961 21.64%. So in this graph, in x-axis we have census based on every 10 years. I told 15 years of records, and in y-axis we have percentage of population, and I'm explaining you how the growth rate increased every 10 years or decreased, how it changed every 10 years. That is what I'm explaining. So the graph, in the beginning slightly it's decreasing, but again it keeps on increasing. So by the end of 2011 there is an increase of about 17.64% compared to 1901. I think you're able to understand the graph. You can see it for a minute for your clarification, because graphs are more important. Based on the graph you can write your own answer predicting the graph. You can see it for a minute. I think I gave you enough time to see the graph. And next, the period of stagnant population 1901 to 1921. During the first phase of 20 years, the population of India grew by. I'm explaining you the graph now. So, through the graph, I told you how to see the graph and how it kept increasing and decreasing. Now, I'm going to tell you in depth about how it changed. Okay, so during the first phase of 20 years, the population of India grew by 15 million. The year 1921 registered a negative growth rate of minus 0.31%, which happened only once throughout the demographic history of India and is called the year of great demographic divide. So I showed you, right? There was an year, in 1921 there was a negative growth rate. So that year is called the year of great demographic divide. The period of steady growth 1921 to 1951. During the second phase of 30 years, from 1921 to 1951, the population of India grew by 110 million. Next again, the period of steady growth from 1951 to 1981. During the third phase, 1951 to 1981, the population of India grew from 361 million in 1951 to 683 million in 981. You can see the difference. Growth rate in this period is almost double when compared to the previous phase of growth rate. You can see that. This period is often referred to as the period of population explosion because the population doubled. The period of high growth with definite signs of slowing down is 1981 to 2011. Population of India increased from 685 million to 1210 million during this phase. The growth rate of population decreased from one census to another. This marks the beginning of a new era in demographic history of India. So later what happened was there was a slight fall down, and next population change refers to an increase or decrease of population of an area from one period to another period. Population growth is influenced by the birth rate, death rate and migration. These three makes the changes in population. You must be knowing about birth rate and death rate. Migration is moving from one place to another. Shifting from one place to another is called migration. Birth rate refers to the number of live births per thousand people in a year, and the death rate refers to the number of deaths per thousand people in a year. The rapid decline in death rate is the major cause of the rapid growth of population in India. Migration. It is the movement of people across regions and territories. It can be internal or international. It can be within a country or between country to country. Internal migration does not change the size of population of a country, but it influences the distribution of population in a nation. It plays an important role in changing the composition and distribution of population. In India, the mass migration is from rural to urban. Unemployment and underemployment in the rural areas are the push factors, and the employment opportunity and higher wages in the urban areas are caused by the industrial development are the pull factors of migration in the country. So people in the village, if people are in village, they have to look for their own job. They'll have to either do agriculture or they'll have to set up their own shops. Other than that, they'll not have any other thing to do. They'll have to go for urban areas for employment, right? And when they go for employment in urban areas, they'll be paid more. The wages that are given to the laborers will be more. So what people would do is they would prefer moving to urban areas. So what would happen in rural areas? The population will be lesser, and in urban areas the population will be more. This is what is happening. So 45 out of 121 crores of people in India are reported to be migrants as per 2011 census. Migrants constitute about 37% of population. Migrants are 48% from female and 52% from male. People from other country entering India and people from India moving to other country. This is called migrants. Population composition. Population composition refers to the characteristics such as age, sex, marital status, caste, religion, language, education, occupation, etc. So the population composition will be, whether they are male or female, and their age, the marital status, how many youths are living, how many old people are living. So like this, they'll be differentiating, right? The study of composition of population helps us to understand the social, economic, and demographic structure of population. First comes age composition. The age composition of population refers to the number of people in different age groups in a country. It is one of the most basic characteristics of a population. It helps us to understand the proportion of population in dependent and independent category. Population of a nation is generally grouped in three broad categories. In India, the children who has less than 50 years of age constitute 29.5%, and the people above 60 years constitute 8%. So the dependent population in India is 37.5%, and the independent population is 16 to 59 years is 62.5%. Dependent population means children are dependent on parents, and if they're older, they are dependent on children. So like this, the dependent population is 37.5%, and independent population is the adults is 62.5%. Alright. It shows that our country has enormous manpower. So our country have more youths, which means we have more an enormous manpower. Next is sex ratio. Sex ratio is defined as the number of females per 1000 male population. This is an important social indicator. So how many females are there for 100 male population, 1000 male population. This is an important social indicator to measure the extent of equality between males and females in a society at a given time. According to 2000, the sex ratio in our country is always unfavorable to females. Give reasons. So they're asking us the reason why female ratio is lesser. According to 2011 census, the sex ratio of the country is 940 females per 1000 males. So 60 females are lesser. So this is based on 2011 census. This suggests that the size of female population is lower than males. Only in the state of Kerala and the Union Territory of Puducherry, the sex ratio is greater than 1000. It is 1084 in Kerala and 1038 in Puducherry. The lowest sex ratio is recorded in the Union Territory of Daman and Diu. Next, we'll discuss about the literacy rate in the next video. Thank you.